you get locked in on the music.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Motor City Man Show. Yes, am I high on energy? Yeah, having a lot of caffeine, except maybe a little bit early in the morning. Early. I think if you want to get pumped up, all you need to do is watch the Detroit Tigers blow a 7-1 lead and lose to the Baltimore Orioles. I'm not getting into that mitigating disaster because that was a choke job I ever saw. Want to welcome the newest member to our crew here on the Motor City Man Show. His name is Ed McAndrew, who also joined me on Inside the Pigskin, and he joins me on Sports Rep. Go ahead, take it away, Eddie.
Well, thank you, Scott. You've been talking so much about this, and I feel like I just said before we started here, I feel like I was coming up from AAA, and you gave me the call, and now I'm in the big time. I'm in, this whole network's is run by you and Candy. Now I'm on the Anchor Show. I mean, how cool is that? The Anchor Show with Steve, yourself, Candy, after just not being around that long. So either I'm doing something right or you're deaf. Haven't figured that out yet because you're not listening to me. But anyway, we're here now. This is exciting. Let's get at it.
I'm not listening.
You told me so much about this.
Did you say I'm not listening to you?
Yeah. I was being kind of funny. I was trying to drop a joke there. I don't say things.
I don't miss nothing you say, brother. I'll tell you.
I know.
Robert Redford may be the natural. When I get finished with you after this show, you're going to be, well, you don't have a lot of hair to lose, so don't worry about that.
That's true.
But that's okay. I'll guarantee you'll get a lot of wisdom for sure. And
looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, let's get this bad boy started because you know what? We're going to go ahead and talk about John Lennon because his killer has been denied parole for the 14th time. Mark David Chapman fatally shot Lennon on the night of December 8th, 1980. The former Beatle unfortunately went down, but you like the move? Keep denying David Chapman the parole, Steve?
Yes. I was a diehard Beatles fan back in the day. In fact, I was watching the Monday Night Football broadcast in the military. I had just got to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I was watching my Patriots play the Miami Dolphins, and then Howard Cosell broke the news that John Lennon had been shot. And I was a youngster at the time, but I was not a happy camper that night. And I don't think he should get parole, not for killing John Lennon.
Well, I mean, for God's sake, he's only been denied how many times? Like 14 times? I guess a lot of people do agree with you, Steve. I mean, he ain't letting him out anytime soon. Eddie, there's your first crack. What do you got to say about this one?
Well, I kind of think about what we were talking about on last night's Inside this Pigskin. This topic came up, with regards to murder. This was a premeditated murder. I think he's lucky that he's able to sit in a jail cell the rest of his life. Because I think to some extent that's too good for him. So he shouldn't be able to be getting parole. And anybody who takes a life in a premeditated stance, I think needs it really. I don't know. I'm glad. Let me just put it this way. I'm glad he should never be able to get it. And at some point, it has to. The whole going for parole has to stop. It's just. It's not going to happen.
Andy?
Okay, so where do I start? So the guy goes and gets an autograph from John Lennon on the day that he shot him. And then he goes and he shoots him fatally on the night of December 8th back in 1980. Lennon was 40 years old. Yes, this guy has been denied parole 14 times. So his sentence was 20 years to life. So that was the first time back in whenever that he could have possibly been paroled. John Lennon's not coming back. Why should this guy? This guy took his
Exactly.
life. John, gone from all of us, a great, singer and entertainer, and this guy shot and killed him. And he thinks he should become a member of society again after he took that from John? That's not fair. Nope.
I'm actually surprised nobody took him out in prison, to be honest with you. Who would want to be
That's true,
associated with
too.
taking out a famous guy in prison? Well, okay. It is what it is. But I'll tell you what, the next animal would if he had a chance at him, and that's this, because Florida will pay $519,000 to save the panther habitat. How about a transition there? That's exactly what I said. And what the specifics of this are, here's how it works. 69 landowners applied, offering more than 172,000 acres across 14 counties. The state only approved 15 landowners. That means 40,635 acres will actually be protected this year. Florida will pay $519,000 this year to protect those 15 landowners. The goal is to keep private land open for panther survival instead of being developed. Panthers are one of the most endangered species and animals in Florida. Should Florida spend more than is $500K enough? We're not talking about the Florida Panthers. We're talking about the regular Panthers. Had to get that in there, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I travel on a road that's frequently there's signs all over it. Beware of panther crossing, because so many of them get hit and killed around here in southwest Florida, and they should do everything they can to protect them. I mean, look. Every time, and you know this, Scott, I mean, you live in the state as well. Every time you turn around, they're putting a new development in someplace, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's getting so crowded that the animals are losing their natural habitat, and they should protect them. And I'm all for whatever they can do to do that. I mean, a couple of times at night I thought I've seen one, but I wasn't sure. It could have been a dog. It was far enough off the road where you can't really tell, but it was in the area where they have the signs up, right? Panther crossing, and people, are constantly hitting them, and it's not always the person's fault, but we need to do what we can to protect them, and the few are getting fewer, unfortunately.
Ed?
I think it's a great idea, even though I don't live in Florida. I think Steve made a good point, because we have a similar situation with deer in our area in Northern Virginia. Suburban sprawl has basically decimated where their habitats and where they live, to the point, and this is no kidding. The other day I was coming home. It was about 1:00 in the afternoon, and I'm in a single family, and we have a small patch of grass that's between mine and my neighbors. And I'm getting out of my car, and I look. And I'm like, wow, that's a big dog. And it wasn't a dog. And this is like 1:00 in the afternoon. It was a fawn deer that was just kind of standing in the middle of it. So, I think, and deer are a little bit different than panthers in a way. Deer meat, they have controlled hunts around here to kind of help with the population. And the meat is given to the, those who need it, and it's, help to feed people. So, it's kind of for a good cause. But, with regards to hitting them with cars and getting into accidents, deer are the same. We're doing the same thing here with you guys. It seems like what you're dealing with panthers, and I think anything that we can do to kind of help protect them, because if you think about it, we really did come in. We came into their land. We moved out of the cities and started the suburban sprawl, and it just continues to go. And whatever we can do, and it's great to hear, like, what was it, 15 people or whatever applied to give up some land. That's really good to hear that people are interested in that kind of conservation.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, Ed, before the show about I lived up in Northern Virginia, but it was
right
quite a long time ago. The last time I was up there, I was amazed, because there used to be like the DC, Arlington, Alexandria area, and then there was kind of like the sticks a little bit before you get it. That not anymore. That spreads all the way out to past where the Marine Corps base is in Quantico.
Oh yeah. I mean, probably the last time you lived here, Steve, where I live today was Styx. I can guarantee you, I'm out by Dulles Airport. I'm actually west of the airport, and it was, we've been here 26 years now, and it's now moving out further. 26 years ago, it was Styx out here. It was,
Yeah.
there was nothing, and now it's just going out further west. Now we're even to the point where it's moving into West Virginia some. So yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, because Dulles used to be, you'd have to drive up in the middle of nowhere, and then there was this huge airport. Not anymore.
Yeah. No, and check this out, and then I'll stop, Candy. People are now commuting from West Virginia to DC for work because of the cost of living and the pay. It's cheaper to live. It's cheaper to commute like an hour and a half each way, live right over the border in West Virginia. Because I'm probably right now to the border of West Virginia, I'm probably 30 minutes. So 30 minutes plus it's probably 45 to an hour from here, from where I'm at. So that's an hour and a half. You could get in town an hour and a half, and a lot of people work those like 0600 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they come home. And your dollar's going farther, and your dollar's going to go farther in West Virginia than it is here in Loudoun County or any of the other counties surrounding DC.
That's crazy.
So I'm going to talk a little bit. So there were 69 applicants, 15 were chosen. 40,000 acres are right now they're paying for it, but the applicants was over 172,000. The interesting thing I think is the Florida panther is one of only 2 wildcat species native to Florida, the other one being the bobcat, with the panther's primary habitat ranging from the south of Orlando to the grand part of southwestern Florida. The panther has been listed under the Endangered Species Act since 1967, with only around 120 to 230 adult panthers currently in the wild, according to the Florida Commission. Going back to the 1800s, the decline of the population was catalyzed by people's view of the panther as a threat to livestock and game animals. So back then, officials put a $5 bounty per panther killed on all Florida counties in Florida. So by the 1950s, they were thought to be extinct.
Wow.
The number of counted panthers back in 1981 was below 20. So they're saying now there's between 120 and 230, but they don't want that number to go lower. So that's why they're running this program.
Okay. Well, let's continue on, because Svalbard in Norway is the only place on Earth where anyone can live and work without a visa, Steve. You don't need a visa. Okay, so you want to go somewhere and work on Earth? Go ahead. Go to Svalbard in Norway. They'll take you.
I don't know what part of that country that's in, but I definitely want to go there anyway. You and I have talked about it several times. I want to go see the Northern Lights and see the ancestral home of some of my, people way back. So, I like that idea. I'll go work there.
There you go. Hey, listen, if you don't need a visa,
it might be real late at night though when we do the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, listen, let's do a show out in the Northern Lights.
Do it with the Northern Lights, exactly. That would be.
It might be 2 a.m. my time, but hey, I'm game for that.
All right, what do you think, Ed? Would you go there?
I think, sure, why not? Norway, with all the stuff we've talked about with the World Cup and Erling Haaland being from Norway and the whole row and the Viking culture and it seems just like a really cool country, and if you can go there and you can pick up a job without a visa, hey, I'm all for it. The only question is what kind of labor force are they looking for? Are they looking for you to row the Viking ship, or are they looking for something else? So But no, that would be fun. That'd be kind of cool.
Andy, you know how much I like Norway, anyways.
I do. Norway is beautiful, and that's why it's on our list for next year again. So, what I read is that you can work legally without a visa or resident permit in Norway if you are a citizen of an EU or a EEA country, a Nordic country, or if you qualify for strict short-term professional exemptions. You can stay and work up to 3 months. They said, I mean, that would be kind of cool because let's face it, same old here in the United States. I'd love to go see the Northern Lights. And I know I've talked to numerous of my coworkers and they're like, it gets so cold there. And I'm like, you guys don't know what cold is. I'm sorry. You're down here in Florida. You do not
Yeah.
know what cold is. So,
Very
No.
true.
it'd be cool.
Yeah. Growing up in New England, I know cold, so it can't be much colder than that.
Yeah, Metro Detroit is no picnic either. I know Wisconsin is. So
Wisconsin.
Nope.
yeah. So and where Ed's come from, they get their fair share of cold weather as well. Well, you know what?
Yeah, but
Well,
I've traveled up north too. So,
Speaking of Norway, see,
oh, there you go.
Oh,
Great.
that's my Viking painting right there.
Oh, cool. I'll tell you,
That's
he's fit
My
for this
wife
show.
and I. So yeah, we're showing the heritage there, bro.
So let's talk about a featured topic of the night. Europe dominates the ranking of peaceful countries. Let's go to the scoreboard. Finland starts at 10. Peaceful people. Slovenia is on that list. Denmark's on that list. Portugal's on that list at 7. Singapore is 6. Switzerland is 5. Austria is 4. New Zealand is 3. Ireland is 2, and number 1 is, you guessed it, Iceland. All right, Steve, what do you think of this list about peaceful countries? I love peaceful places.
Yeah, and Iceland's the next place I want to go. Right?
Yeah.
You could see the Northern Lights. You could see, volcanoes, and I mean, come on, man, that's what it's all about. Sign me up, bro. I'm ready.
Telling you, this is what this show's all about, people. We're educating it. I know it's being exciting.
We're going to have to sign up for Babbel for, Icelandic or Norwegian, one or the other. So,
Hey, when I settle down and I've stopped traveling from all these different places, there'll be some go backs. One of them I like is Iceland, and Norway is definitely one we're going to hit on. Go ahead, Eddie.
You know, it's interesting. It sounded like a handful of those were Nordic countries in the Europe. It was Iceland, Norway, all
Yep.
Finland, yeah, Finland, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting. All great countries. All they're all smaller. I think that has something. I think that has something to do with it. Brings when you're smaller, you kind of there can be a sense of peace where there's a sense of everybody knows everybody. But really, there doesn't. But it's just kind of there. I mean, look here in the United States. I mean, some places you barely know the people that live down the street from you, let alone
next door.
Yeah, exactly. Some of our states are bigger than some of the countries that were in the World Cup.
Mhm.
So I think it's and I think when they are probably very peaceful places to live and very peaceful, nice people. They're probably nice people too. So it'd be nice to visit.
Candy?
Not only are they smaller countries, they're more isolated countries. They're not countries that are big part of, North America Central. I mean, so that makes a difference too, because they're not as easy to get to. I know one of the things that when we were in, and I don't remember, Scott, you might remember if this was Iceland or in Norway, on one of the tours excursions we had, I think it was Norway, and we were talking and we're like, well, in the winter months it gets cold, obviously there's snow, there's and some of the people don't live there year round, some of them take off. So one of the things that they said is that the way if your neighbor is home is their flag is up on the flagpole.
Right.
Otherwise, if it's down, they're not home, and that they're not home. And I'm like, geez, here in the United States, you don't want people to know if you're home or not home because
Exactly.
it just invites like
Right.
violence, hoodlum, whatever. But there they want people to know if they're home or not, and if they're, if they need anything or. So I thought that was very different. The very beautiful countries, not a lot of population, even in like their cities. They're not huge cities. So I think that's part of it. Some of them, Scott, we've talked on previous shows, they don't have military there or a lot of guns there. So a lot of that has to factor into it. But can I see it that they wouldn't have, they'd be peaceful? You bet.
Great stuff. Still like Iceland and Norway.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here going back to what Candy was just saying about the flag, and she's absolutely right. Got me thinking. Like growing up, lived on a cul-de-sac. Everybody on the cul-de-sac knew each other. Doors were really kind of left unlocked. And nowadays, you wouldn't even think. You lock your door during the day because you don't want some lunatic to walk through it. These places, they're raising the flag, lowering the flag. I think that is how life should be lived. That is in a state of relaxed, calm, and peace. We here live very intense, high on the edge. Why are you looking at me? Very defensive type stuff where it affects everything. It affects our lifestyle. No wonder Americans always look like they're angry. Half of Americans look like they're angry all the time. Anyway.
So Scott, here's a picture of a farm and the land in Norway. So you can see that people aren't like close together, they're spread out. That's just one of the pictures.
But look how green it is. That's always like it's green.
Yep. Oh yeah. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Awesome. And guess what? We're going back to Norway again. So all right, let's talk about countries that invest into education. And they go as follows. You have Canada. Well, here, we'll just start from the beginning. We'll go number 1 all the way down. And there you go. We'll start with Canada's number 1. Number 2, Ireland. Number 3, South Korea. Number 4, Luxembourg. 5, the United Kingdom. 6, Australia. 7, Sweden. 8, the United States. 9, Israel. And 10, you guessed it, Norway. All right, Steve. Education is the theme.
Education is so important, and especially with primary education. I mean, that it's so important, and it's our education system. We keep throwing a lot of money at it, but it's really broken, and it needs to improve. Our scores, in reading and math and science seem to go down every year, and that needs to change. And I'm glad to see some of these other countries are investing in education as well. And I'm surprised Canada was number 1, honestly, because they don't have a lot of money, the government. So good to see that. I wish we could fix our education system, but I'm glad to see that we're still up there in the top 10. I'm surprised Japan wasn't in there.
Yeah, I was too.
Education money.
I was surprised at that, and I was surprised we were in the U.S. was in the top 10. To be honest with you, with some of the way we've fallen off in the times, I just, it's. I don't know. You're right, Steve. The education system's broken, and because we're dropping off in all those scores, and I think just if we look at if you don't teach and learn about history, you're bound to repeat it. And I think sometimes we worry too much. Well, the country, I think it's great that we're there. I think it's Whitney Houston said it best: the children are our future. Now treat them well and let them lead the way. And if we need to do that through education, and we need to do that through, we need to teach them. We need them to learn facts, But more importantly, we need them to learn how to think critically and make decisions on their own, and how to critical thinking in America in the younger people, my opinion, has all but almost disappeared. A lot of kids, they don't know how to form a logical argument. We could do a whole show on that, Scott. Also, I'll stop there.
Go ahead, Candy.
Ed, we do not respect education here. And one of
Yeah.
the ways you can see that is we pay entertainers and sports heroes how much money, and how much money do we pay a teacher that's going
Right.
to teach our children to be citizens in this society?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's disgraceful, honestly, how much some of these teachers make or don't make.
Oh yeah.
I get it. And yes, in full disclosure, I was raised by a teacher. My dad was a teacher. My sister is now a teacher. And him and I it's kind of funny because we'd go back and forth about like salaries, and we'd go back and forth about vacation. And he's like, I don't get a vacation. And I said, you get all summer long. And he's like, I'm not working those months of the year. You get to pick and choose when you want vacation. I said, I get it. We all make our choices. But to be honest with you, we don't value education. We don't teach that we should respect the teachers, the education, and learn more. We give them a phone or a tablet and say, here, go learn. And they're not learning interpersonal skills anymore. And that's sad, too.
Yes. Exactly. I agree 100% on that one.
But kudos to some of those other countries. I was surprised to see us as high as we are. Some other countries we've talked about, Scott, give free college education. You know, we don't do that. But so happy to see us there, but I wish we were higher.
Let's go on to let's proceed, because I'll tell you what. Get this. A man faked a heart attack 20 times to avoid paying restaurant bills. A 50-year-old man, Lithuanian, identifying as Idis J, was arrested in Alicante, Spain. I guess we got another red fox of Fred Stafford here, Steve.
Yeah, there we go.
You know, in one of the, I believe it was the Dirty Harry movies, there was a guy that was doing the same thing. And they said, we have a heart attack in the restaurant. And Clint Eastwood goes over and starts kicking him. And then he drags him out by his tie. And people were aghast. And he was like, hey, you got the free meal, didn't you? And he's like, yeah, but I always enjoyed that, ambulance ride to the hospital. It helps me digest. And that's the first thing I thought of. And people have been doing that for a long time. I mean, you talk about some people they got a lot of gumption. I mean, to fake having a heart attack to get out of paying your restaurant bill. And obviously it's not the first time for this person. And I don't know. I don't know how you combat that, because
40 times. The first time, it's the 20th.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, it's like, you have to take it serious in a restaurant if somebody acting like they're having a heart attack, but it's like then you have to crack down on this person. I don't know what kind of a law there is against it, but I don't know. But when you started reading that, the first thing I thought of was that Dirty Harry movie with Clint Eastwood, and that was like, it's been an issue for a very long time.
I think you need to, it's like, those guys, you put the picture up, do not sell this guy, pseudoephedrine and Claritin D2 and all that stuff, because they're meth dealers. You got to do that with this guy's picture. You got to put this guy's picture up in all the restaurants and say, do not serve this guy food. Or secondarily, secondarily, you have to go in and you have to reenact the Dirty Harry scene. Somebody's
Yeah.
got to have the gumption and just say, just pull it out, just pull them out. But no, I mean, I don't know. Really, that's just the gumption, the gall,
20 times.
20 times. And I don't know if I'm more impressed.
That's
he was
20
able to
times
get
he's
it.
been caught.
Yeah. That's just crazy. And I don't know. Candy, what does
Well,
the
what you have to look at is really, seriously, really?
Exactly, yes. That is a really
That's
seriously
my other
really.
cat.
That is
Really, seriously, really?
that is really seriously really. Yes.
Exactly.
That bingo. Oh my god. Oh, that should be that when you do this now, one of these
That's
stories has to be a really
That's Sanford's son. That's
It's a
right.
big one. Yes, it is.
And here's the problem: when he died, a lot of people thought he actually was having a phony heart attack, but this one was real, and he's long gone in the eyes of an arrow.
That's why you can't cry wolf too many times, because
Right.
the one time it does, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. A little bit of trouble.
Go ahead, Candy.
So he would visit high-end restaurants, order expensive items like lobster, premium steaks, and whiskey, and then dramatically clutch his chest and collapse to the floor when the bill arrived. He successfully executed this scam at 20 different restaurants before getting caught. His luck ran out when a restaurant manager refused to let him leave and called the police instead of an ambulance, recognizing his face from warnings shared among local business owners. He was arrested by the National Police and received a jail sentence. But yes, if anybody does that, attempting a stunt like this does carry a real-world legal and financial repercussions. Criminal charges in most jurisdictions. This behavior is prosecuted as fraud, larceny, theft of services, or dine and dash crimes. So, kind of surprised he got away with it 20 times.
Yeah.
That surprised me really. But glad to see that he finally got caught. And like you had said, they shared his face among business owners. And let's face it, nowadays you do that more. Like you would have,
Oh yeah.
I mean, Facebook groups for this
Yeah.
or that, and but can't believe,
But I mean, I can't. My mind doesn't work that way to say I'm going to go into this restaurant, eat high end, drink high end, and then fake a heart attack. I don't know that's just a different mind. My mind doesn't work that well. My mind doesn't work. I can't even. I could maybe do it for like 2 seconds and say no, I'm kidding. Let me pay the check. It's like whatever.
Okay. Well, onward we go. And I'll tell you this is bad. And I really feel when I have to go over topics like this. Michael Cork, a Chicago man with fatal insomnia, stayed awake for 6 straight months before dying in 1993 at the age of 42. I mean, this is just bad. You're talking about insomnia, people. The uncommon genetic neurological disorder progressively dismantled the brain's natural ability to enter sleep safely, to rapid cognitive decline and total psychological breakdown. As we continue on about this, despite the exhaustive efforts by top medical professionals to induce artificial comas, no treatment succeeded in halting the terminal disease. His agonizing experience presents a vital, absolute necessity of restorative sleep for human survival. Steve, this insomnia.
Wow.
I have sleeping issues, and this is
I mean, we all do. I mean, I don't sleep well at all, but I mean, 6 months with no sleep. I mean, I feel horrible for that person. I know he died a long time ago, but still, I can't imagine how different. And then they couldn't even medicate him to put him out.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, talk about a horrible existence. I mean, I can't imagine what if he had a family, how they had to deal with this. Because I mean, like they said, cognitively, his mind must have been absolute mush by the end of that 6 months.
Gosh, oh, I know that's bad.
I
Insomnia.
six, just even trying to think about that is painful. I mean, I would have gone probably literally insane way before 6 months without sleep. Just trying to do it, and it's very interesting that they, that the medical. I was just sitting. I have a good friend of mine that is an anesthesiologist, and when I have to ask him, I'm going to be like, "Man, what do you know? What would you have done to this guy?" I mean, the fact that they couldn't induce a coma. I mean, I had this image of them trying to put some whatever the anesthetic, putting them to sleep, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Okay, he's out," and then all of a sudden his eyes, "Hello, I'm here, I'm awake." No, the good. I mean, it's not good that he's dead, but the good thing is that he's healed. If you believe in that stuff, those who are sick are now healed when they go up to heaven. So he's hopefully sleeping well up there in whatever the afterlife gives us.
Yeah, it's just man, it's so sad. Candy.
At first, he couldn't sleep, so he thought it was because of stress or a crappy sleep schedule. But his eyes literally couldn't close. He had lost a lot of weight, saw double vision, and he couldn't think straight. The doctors thought it was scoliosis initially, then switched to severe depression. Shockingly, he had a PRNP mutation in his somatic and sex cells that was similar to Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease and mad cow disease. The name of the disease is fatal familial insomnia. It's extremely rare, incurable, genetic neurodegenerative brain disorder. Basically, the disease has 4 stages. It's fatal and there's no cure at the moment. Phase 1 is sleep gets worse, panic attacks, and phobias. Stage 2 is hallucinations and getting more and more anxious. Stage 3 is can't sleep at all, weight drops like crazy. 4 is dementia and then death. The doctors tried everything to save him, using sedatives to knock him out, but his brain kept going. And in 1993, just a month after his 42nd birthday, he died and hadn't slept for 6 months straight. So sad.
Candy struggles when I can't sleep for 2 or 3 days. Can you imagine if this went on for 6 months? What would you do if you were in that situation with me, Candy?
I struggle. I struggle with that. I mean, I've now will appreciate when I don't sleep well. I'm going to just be thankful that I don't sleep well. Not that I'm not sleeping, And so now that's crazy. Hopefully they donated that brain to science and it was looked at and researched and all that good stuff, because that's the unfortunate part about brain diseases is you can't learn really about them until the person has passed away. So that is anyway. Well, that is Scott. Can I just share one kind of completely off topic? You told me you just cover everything and anything. You said be ready for whatever, Ed. You said, and I was like, okay, Scott, I'll be ready for whatever. Let me tell you this: I was not ready for a guy who was going to be up for something. Not ready for that, Scott. Not ready.
But let me ask you a question. Can you handle it?
Oh, of course I can, but I just wasn't.
Okay.
I was like, okay, this guy, we'll do some stuff. Some of the stuff is all, death penalty, peaceful countries, all that stuff. Oh, how about this? All right, Scott. I now know the lay of the land. I know how it's played, and we're good now. We are.
Oh, don't
good.
worry. Wait till you see what else I have. First of all, Katie,
I mean, we're just getting going, right? We're just getting going. So I can imagine what's coming down the pike.
I was waiting for him to make this comment at the end of the show, not in the middle. It's okay, Eddie. It's all good, brother. Candy, what happened? I went 6 months without sleeping. What'd you do, Bebs?
Oh, you would be at the doctor way before that.
Exactly.
Way before then.
Yeah, I'm sure I can remember when we first met, and she got me. It's either your give them the first story how you got me either you were driving me or taking me by the ambulance. Give him that story while I call up next time.
Well, we woke up one Sunday morning, I want to say, and you were starting to slur your words. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, either I'm driving you or I'm calling an ambulance. You're going to the hospital now. No questions asked. Because I honestly thought with you slurring your words that it could have been like the start of a stroke, because that's one of the tail signs. Honestly, Scott didn't know he was diabetic, and his sugars were way off the charts. So it was a good thing I did what I did, and
yes.
Look, you're still here to talk about it.
Yeah, I am. I'll tell you what, I was slurring my words.
And you weren't a typical guy who fought her on it.
I don't know if I still am a typical guy, Eddie.
He did not have a choice.
I don't know if I still am.
Good,
well, when your diabetes number is 16.9, I guess that's probably why I was slurring my numbers a little bit or words, whatever. But that's all right.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
The A1C, was 16.
A1C.
16.9.
Yes.
16.9. Yeah, it was hot. It was up there a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, I'm just trying to
close to being in a coma.
Yeah, well, I don't know where I was, but I wasn't in the right place and frame of mind if I was slurring my words. Right now, I'm not slurring my words. I got enough caffeine in me to slur them anyway. All right, but you know, it's a good segue to the next topic. You know why? Because we're going to talk about how the founding fathers died. I'm telling you, Eddie, you asked for some interesting stuff, and I'm going to give it to you, brother.
Here we go.
Here we go. Let's go out there and figure out how our founding fathers did die, because it is what it is. All right, where are we at here with this old bad boy? So Alexander Hamilton, by the way, at the age of 49, was shot in a duel at the age of 49. The bullet went through his liver and dodged in his spine, and he died 31 years later. So, people, we got Alexander Hamilton. What are your thoughts about Mr. Hamilton, Steve?
Yeah, he died in the duel with Aaron Burr.
Yeah.
And if the history books are correct, and many times, as we know, they're not, supposedly he was challenged to a duel, and Hamilton shot his pistol into the ground, and then Burr shot him. I didn't know he lived as long as he did. I thought he died shortly afterwards. So, but he was still young.
Yeah.
Still a young guy.
Eddie?
They handled conflicts different back then. You had a problem with somebody, you took it out 10, 12 paces, and yeah, I mean, a bullet lodged. You said he lived 31 years after he was shot. Is that what it was? It's a long time to live with a bullet in your spine.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 31 hours later. What did I say? Years?
31 hours. Okay,
31
all right,
years.
yeah.
Okay,
all right,
yeah,
31
that
hours.
makes sense.
Okay, all right. 31 hours. Okay.
I must be losing it now. Okay.
Yeah, well, hey, that's all right. That's why we're all here. We're all
that sounds
yes.
Yeah.
31 hours, people.
Yeah, 31 hours. Okay, that makes sense. And they just handled things. Yeah, here's the thing. If you're gonna be in that, don't be the hero or the nice guy and shoot your gun into the ground. Because you can't bank on the guy doing the same thing.
Candy?
I mean, you think about 31 hours, that's over a day. I can't imagine being in pain or having, the thought of having a bullet inside me lodged and trying to survive that. I just can't imagine that. That's got to be painful. But they like everyone has said, they did things differently back then.
Okay, onward we go to the first president of the United States. George Washington died at 67 of a throat infection. Doctors drained 40% of his blood in 12 hours trying to save him. Steve?
They drained 40% of his blood?
Yeah.
They were probably putting leeches and stuff on him, because that's what
they used to do back then.
Yeah, I mean, today they probably give you, a dose of antibiotics, and that throat infection, probably strep throat, right? It would probably be gone in no time.
Yes, exactly. You know what? It's interesting that you're talking about these things. I live very close to the Manassas battlefields, and there's a lot of history, a lot of Civil War history, and a lot of just history around here. And actually, there are some houses that that stand as monuments that you can take tours of, and that some have that stood as Civil War houses. So as you go through this, Scott, you're bringing me back to some of those trips where getting sick, wounded, or anything back in those times, back whether it was done in the Revolutionary time or the Civil War time, it was not a. I can't imagine that to be fun in any stretch of the imagination. To Candy's point, that you're going to be in pain, and there wasn't a lot of anesthetic. The old bite the bullet. That was back then. That was a literal thing to bite down on, and there are some stories about how they used to do amputations, and I mean we could just really go to, I mean it's that was a tough, those people back in the 1800s, that was a tough life to get us to where we are today.
Candy?
He originally felt ill from a severe throat infection, like acute bacterial epiglottis. His doctor's extreme medical treatment induced severe shock and fatal weakness. Basically, he had developed a severe painful throat infection after riding horses in freezing rain and snow. Over 12 to 24 hours, his physicians and handlers drained about 80 ounces, around 2.5 liters of his blood. The massive loss caused hemorrhagic shock and extreme physical collapse, making it impossible for his 67-year-old body to fight off the infection. To me, that just sounds painful. Like, I
Yes.
can't imagine. You think this is all from a throat infection.
Mm-hmm.
How far we've come and what we've learned. Unfortunately, we sometimes learn the hard way or an god awful way.
But to, like Steve saying just before, a shot of 800 milligrams of amoxicillin today, it's gone, and probably you're feeling better in 24 hours. And you lay in bed, and you take a couple ibuprofen, and you're solid. You can actually function and probably still go back to work. Here, these guys are they're bleeding. It was a tough way of life.
Okay, let's continue. I got plenty more of people talking about Governor Morris. Everybody heard of Governor Morris in history? I don't know, but you have now. Had a urinary tract blockage and stuck a whalebone up his urethra as a makeshift catheter, causing fatal internal injuries and infection. Get this. That's unbelievable.
I just got a pain. I just got
Yeah,
a pain.
so did I. So did I. I just got a thought saying,
just like,
wow.
My
Yeah,
legs
yeah,
crossed.
yeah.
I just got severe distress,
Exactly.
right? A whalebone.
A whalebone.
Oh my goodness!
When you think you've heard of everything, now you have.
Oh,
Don't worry, this is your first act. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other shows.
I don't know. I might have to see a therapist after this.
a whalebone. Oh my goodness!
I didn't say all these topics are not going to
I'm
be
telling
paid.
you, I'm in physical distress here right now. Just thinking about that.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. You have to stick a whalebone up there.
How can we ask the question? How painful was the UTI? Maybe you'd be better just to stay with the urinary tract.
It had to have been bad.
Don't kid yourself. I've had some UTIs, but I wouldn't use a whalebone to get rid of them.
Okay, Scott. Okay, Scott. You just trumped yourself already, and we're not 10 minutes since the time I made my comment about, wow, these are some crazy ass topics you're bringing on. Now we're talking about whalebones to cure UTIs. Who thought?
Oh, don't worry, Eddie. Stay with it, brother. The best, of the best is yet to come.
Governor Morris. Now he was from New Jersey, wasn't
he? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
Yeah. So Steve, I'm with Steve, and I think Steve summed it up best on how we feel about this topic, and we should just send it on to Candy for what she can read into the stats on this.
Yeah, good stuff, Eddie. I love this guy, Steve. What do you think of this guy? He's your new teammate.
Yeah,
he's good. Thumbs up here, Eddie. You're doing good.
So this kind of comes from the don't try this at home department.
Oh,
He had attempted to clear an obstruction by using a piece of whalebone. The unsuccessful procedure led to further internal injuries and infection. He passed away in the same room in which he was born 64
Oh,
years
wow.
earlier on his family estate in Moriasana in what is today the South Bronx. Pain was nothing new for him. As a 14-year-old, he accidentally dropped a kettle of boiling water that scalded his right arm and side and forced him to miss an entire year of classes at King's College. He avoided gangrene, which would have required amputation of the limb, but he wasn't as fortunate in 1780 when he reportedly was involved in a carriage accident which left him with a mangled left ankle and several broken leg bones. With his regular doctor out of town, the attending physician recommended amputation of the left leg below his knee. He consented, showing a stunning lack of bedside manner. His regular doctor told Morris upon his return that the leg likely could have been saved. Rumors forever swirled that Morris, a known ladies' man, had actually injured himself jumping from a balcony to escape the wrath of an irate husband. He continued to ride horses, climb church steeples. But yeah, that time that was from the category of don't try
no,
this at home
they
department.
didn't call them the
Nope.
founding fathers for nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, this
Oh
next
my
one
God,
makes
yeah.
a little bit. This next one makes a little bit more sense compared to that last one. Then again, anything makes more sense compared to the last one. John Adams died of heart failure at age 90 on July 4th, 1826, the 50th anniversary of Independence Day. His last words, Jefferson survives. Jefferson had died hours earlier. So we don't have to spend a lot of time. Heart failure, age of 90. This is a bit more normal. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, and he lived to be a very old age. I mean, 90 years old back then, that's
Oh yeah.
saying something. I think, most people didn't live to be half of that. So, because as we've been saying, the medical profession wasn't very good back then. But the fact that he lived to be 90,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
When
Yeah.
George Washington, what you said, only lived to be 67. I mean, that's what you got 23 years on George. I mean, agreed. It's you make it to 90 is probably like making past 100 plus in today's society because what Steve was saying, the medical profession wasn't advanced and they were doing the best they got with what they had, and if that meant sucking all your juice out of you and seeing how that works, or
Andy?
using whalebones.
Yeah, no, I mean some of these make more sense. There are some a little bit different considering where they were, but this one, 90, heart failure, I get it. Katie?
He died around 6 p.m. Yes, his last words were Thomas Jefferson survives, which spoken near noon, unaware Jefferson had actually died 5 hours earlier in Virginia on the same day.
Wow.
Okay.
So he was good friends with him, and he didn't know. But his last words were Thomas Jefferson survives, but Thomas Jefferson had already passed away.
All right, let's continue on. James Monroe died at 73 from heart failure and tuberculosis at his daughter's home, also on July 4th. Now, again, heart failure makes sense. There he goes. That's a James Monroe story.
Yeah.
Steve?
That's, I mean, again, that was typical for that era. Tuberculosis was pretty rampant back then. And again, he probably would have lived to be a lot longer in today's world with just some antibiotics and, modern medical care. But
Exactly. But 73 is was
yeah, still not. He still lived a
that's-
long. Yeah, he lived a
Yeah.
long life.
and who knows that if he doesn't get the TB, does he have heart failure? Did one cause the other? Because the tuberculosis, like you were saying, Steve, was really rampant back then, and that took a lot of people out back then. So, 73. I'd still, he did the best with what he got. So,
Andy.
He died 5 years after Adams and Thomas Jefferson had died on the 4th of July. So he was the third to die on the 4th of July, making it kind of a coincidence. People were starting to think, is there a conspiracy theory or what was going on at that point? But, heart failure is nothing to, it's a regular occurrence these days. And they say it's a silent killer.
Yeah, so we just finished James Monroe, right? Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, let's go on to Patrick Henry. Tried to cure stomach cancer by swallowing a vial of liquid mercury.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
well, that'll kill the cancer, but my
goodness. Too. Go ahead, Steve.
Liquid mercury. That had to have been painful.
I don't know, was it?
And that just, I guess you just try just about anything because you don't know what you don't know. Next thing you know.
How do you feel about the show now, Ed?
I like I said, I'm probably gonna have to see my therapist after this. But no, actually, no, this is fun. No, this is good stuff. Actually, it's stuff like it's like I like to say, you're giving the people watching and all of us conversation points. If you're ever at a party or you're at that neighborhood or family barbecue and you have nothing to say, you can say, hey, you know what? So and so tried to fix his UTI with a whalebone. You know that? And they'd be like, go away. Just kidding.
Yeah, well, like I said, liquid mercury obviously was deadly. Not only did it get rid of the stomach cancer, it got rid of him. Go ahead, Candy.
Yes.
That's just sad. Here you think you're doing something that's going to help you, and instead it takes your life. So, amazing, again, how we learn from what people did, what not to do, but sad.
Okay, let's go on to a few more. We have other topics to get to, but this is one that definitely perked my interest. James Madison died of heart failure at 85. His valet said he ceased breathing as quietly as snuff as a candle goes out. Well, I'm just going to go down anyway. This is the way it goes, Steve. James Madison.
Yeah, 85 years old. He lived to be a ripe old age. So, he had a good life. Died in his sleep, so there was no suffering involved, and lived to be 85. Again, that's pretty old. It's even old today.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
Well, did you know that Madison Square Garden was actually named after James Madison, Steve?
No, I did not. But
we just found that out. Yeah, that was
last week.
Yeah. 85 going in your sleep or going quietly, not a bad way to go. Back then or today. If somebody said that's how you're going to go, I'd say, all right, that's good. Don't need to be painful, wailing, and all that stuff. My sleep quietly is okay.
I know one thing. I'm not going down quietly. Go ahead, Candy.
All I'm going to say is both of my parents went to sleep on a Saturday night. Both of them didn't wake up on Sunday morning. So that has happened. If I can choose how to go, that's how I want to go. I want to go to sleep, not feel anything, not wake up the next morning.
There you go. All right, man, I feel bad. Rest in peace. Mom and Dad, Evelyn, they were great to me. I love them dearly. Okay. Benjamin Franklin died at 84 when an abscess in his lung burst and filled his chest with fluid. 20,000 people attended his funeral. Benjamin Franklin, what can you say? He was just legendary.
Yeah, and the amazing thing of his funeral was George Washington was in Philadelphia and did not attend.
Really?
Wow.
No kidding. I did not know that. Okay.
Even back there, we had some political squabbles.
Yeah.
Oh,
no
it would
kidding.
appear that way. No, that's Ben. No, Ben was an important person in the setup of what we call the United States of America, and 20,000 people showing up shows you the reach that he had.
Oh,
All right, let's continue on. Thomas Jefferson died at 83 of pneumonia, urinary tract blockage, and gout on July 4th, 1826. He kept asking if this was the fourth kid. He died hours before John F. The only thing I'll say is with Jefferson, I've had pneumonia. It's no fun. I wasn't sure I was getting out of the hospital with it. I've had urinary blockage. That wasn't any fun either. But Steve, pneumonia. God,
yeah.
I don't wish anybody pneumonia on anybody.
No, I've had both of them, but not at the same time. And at 83, I mean, that's pretty difficult. So.
Yeah. And like I said, July 4th, it seems to be a curse these days when you're talking about this stuff. So, okay. So go ahead. I mentioned
I've had pneumonia to the point where they actually sent me to the hospital because the fluid had solidified in my lungs, and I was complaining about chest pain, and they couldn't hear the fluid, so they had to take chest X-rays because they thought it was my heart. And this was like I was 25, 26. So yes, so pneumonia is a killer. Even today it is. It takes people out. Yeah, I mean, some of these guys have gotten lucky and got to live full lives. It's probably, if we look at it for everything they did in one day, it's probably a couple days of our lives just because of the wear and tear it took on their bodies and their minds and everything, and the lack of nutrition and medicine and everything. So, kudos to those guys who were able to make it to, like Steve's been saying, if you make it to the 80s, even the 70s back then, you're playing with house money then.
Andy.
His death occurred on the exact 50th anniversary of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. Yeah, sounds like he had some health issues going into it. Not good. And unfortunately, 83 though, not too bad in those times.
All right, let's continue the international thing. Countries that no longer exist and why they disappeared. We'll start off with Yugoslavia. Once held together by Tito, Yugoslavia divided into Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Serbia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Kosovo. This breakup reshaped the Balkans. For those of you who wonder where Sarajevo, Yugoslavia is, where the Olympics were, they're in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Steve, some thoughts about Yugo and Tito?
Yes. I had a lot of close friends serve there during the issues with Bosnia and the Serbs.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day. And that was, as you said, Tito was a strong man after World War II, and he held the country together. After he passed on, a lot of the simmering issues between the different areas of the country came to the surface, and that's what happened there. And that's why that country is now several.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Eddie. Take it from there.
It kind of just it happens. It's interesting. Tito was a strong man, and then if there's not a strong man to follow, if he doesn't have his heir apparent or he doesn't have the succession plan, like some of them don't, and then you get into the factions, and it basically what we saw with Yugoslavia with the breaking up into the separate, probably even republics in each of their little corners or fiefdoms. That's going to happen because they want to each have their piece of the pie. If there's nobody there to hold the glue together.
Andy.
So Yugoslavia was a country in Southeast Europe that unified South Slavic peoples from 1918 to 1992. It was founded in 1918 as the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovs and renamed the Kingdom of Yugoslavia in 1929. Invaded by Axis powers in 41 during World War II, leading to a strong communist resistant movement. Reestablished in 1945 as a federal republic under communist leader Tito, who governed until his death in 1980. Following Tito's death in 80s, severe economic troubles and rising nationalist tensions destabilized the federation. Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, and Macedonia declared independence between 91 and 92, triggering the bloody Yugoslav wars. Serbia and Montenegro remained paired until 2006, when Montenegro split. Kosovo later declared independence in 2008.
Okay, let's go to the next one. We got a bunch of them. We have about 20 minutes left of the show. We'll get to as many of these as we can. The Soviet Union, the largest nation, dissolved in 15 months. 15 new nations emerged. 300 million people found themselves in a country that no longer existed. Steve, rapid fire on the decline of the Soviet Union. What are your thoughts about how that worked out?
Couldn't have happened to a better bunch, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I have the feeling that it might break up even further because they're in the middle of a meat grinder right now in Ukraine, and I think that that Putin is not going to survive this.
I think you're right. Ukraine putting up a big fight. Okay, Eddie.
No, I agree. Actually, interesting enough, both my kids are Russian adoptees, so I've spent some time over there in the country, and it's kind of it's interesting. They're both in their mid 20s. So yeah, it's it was good. I think it was when the wall fell, everybody it was just like Yugoslavia. Everybody went and took their pieces, and you had the independent countries form, and it was going well. And then a man like Putin wants to get in, similar kind of like a Tito-like guy, and he wants to bring everybody. I mean, he's going after Yugoslavia. He's going after Ukraine because he wants to bring it all back in under one roof, if you will, one flag. And he won't. I agree. He's probably not going to survive it, but at the same time, I think he if he gets through, he's not going to stop at Ukraine if he gets through Ukraine. So still interesting to see.
Now the Baltics would be next.
Yep.
Oh, I need to get to the Baltics first before they start messing that up. Okay, go ahead, Candy.
The Soviet Union was one of the world's two superpowers. It had the world's second largest economy and the largest standing military. As a nuclear state, it wielded the largest arsenal of nuclear weapons in the world. As an allied nation, it was a founding member of the United Nations and one of 5 permanent members of its Security Council. So, I think it's headed for more dissolvement and more countries breaking away from it. But I guess it remains to be seen.
Onwards we go. The Ottoman Empire ruled 3 continents for 600 years. Its fall redrew borders. Many of today's Middle East conflicts trace back to its collapse. Steve.
Yeah, the Ottoman Turks, right, in World War I.
Yes.
I mean, they were huge, at that time, and very powerful. And then that split apart at the end of World War I, and again, they went through a lot of bad times. That's where at the split of the Ottoman Empire, I believe that's when the Armenian genocide happened as well. So.
And see, this is like the Ottoman Empire, and all the stuff that we're talking about right now is hundreds and hundreds of years old. These conflicts, whether they're in one country or they were spread along, they've existed a long time. And we here in the U.S. just been here for 250 years. We are not yet and I think sometimes we lose sight of it when we try to go help them. We a lot of times we miss and we don't understand them because you know they've been at it so much longer than we have, and the whatever they're fighting or whatever their issues are, whatever's going on, is much more embedded in the culture and passed on from generation than it is anything else. They're just taught, I don't like that guy because he's a Turk.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's like the Crips and the Bloods.
That's good. Candy.
Ottoman Empire was a powerful transcontinental state founded around 1299 by Osman I. It spanned over 600 years, controlled parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa, and ended in 1922 after World War I.
Okay, let's continue on. The Republic of South Maluku declared independence in 1950, crushed within 6 months. Soldiers evacuated to the Netherlands. Republic never formally surrendered. Okay, there you go, Steve. There's another interesting one.
Yeah, that's one I'm not familiar with, so I can't. I can't say too much on that one.
Well,
did you say they went to the Netherlands or they broke from the Netherlands? Is that what it was, Scott?
yeah,
I think we're going to have to default to Candy and her read her
yeah,
because I'm not familiar with this one either, Steve. So haven't heard.
Yeah, I mean, it really is pretty basic here. All it's saying is crushed within 6 months. Soldiers evacuated the Netherlands. The Republic never formally surrendered. In other words, this was a quickie.
Got it.
All right, Candy, go ahead. We have
The Republic of South Maluku is an unrecognized secessionist state declared on April 25th of 1950, encompassing the islands of Ambon, Baru, and Seram in eastern Indonesia. Following military defeat by Indonesian forces in the 1950s, its government in exile relocated to the Netherlands. The Republic was proclaimed by Christian Ambonese leaders and former soldiers of the Royal Netherlands East Indies Army, who feared marginalization in a newly formed centralized Republic of Indonesia.
All right.
yeah. Well, there you have it. Okay, here's a pretty interesting one for y'all. Worker fired for not answering emails at 2 a.m. on his approved vacation, Steve.
that boss is needs a reality check. That's all the only thing I can say. You're on vacation and your boss, well, even if you're not on vacation, if your boss says you should be answering email at 2 a.m., I'm sorry. You need to get a life. That's the only thing I can say there.
Steve basically summed it up. No, thank you. That's why my out of office is saying what it says. My responses will be delayed. No, that's archaic.
Yeah.
So you say that, but here, listen to this. Under standard employment at will rules that are in place in places like Florida, companies can legally terminate workers for refusing to answer communications, even during a vacation, unless a specific employment contract or union agreement protects you.
Yeah, Virginia's an at-will state as well, and they can basically. It doesn't even need to be not answering an email. They can just say, we've gotten rid of your position. You're gone. So no. Yes, I'm familiar with the whole at-will piece.
Okay, everybody talk about this one. Insane. This boss should be fired. Of course, in Florida, I'd give him to Ron DeSantis. I'd execute the guy. That's what a nasty guy.
There you go.
I hate
There,
this
there
guy.
you go. That's exactly
Execute
what we
this guy. How do you fire a
execute.
guy for not returning emails on vacation? It goes back to this hat. Really? Seriously? Really? Oh, I'm having a bad one. Oh yeah, another Fred Sanford heart attack like we had with the 20 restaurant guy. Go figure. All right. All right.
Hey,
Well,
Scott, I just wanted to interject something, if I may.
sir.
We were talking about John Lennon earlier.
Yeah.
I just got an alert on my phone
Yeah.
that the Beatles are re-releasing an upgraded version of the Rubber Soul album from 1965, and it will include a previously unheard John Lennon song.
Oh
Little
wow!
Girl.
Cool. How about that? He's got breaking news about John Lennon. They were telling us. Great stuff.
And you brought him up early, right at the outset of the show tonight.
It's called GMTA. Great minds think alike. Right, SP? That's why we get along so well. That's why I got Ed right along with me and Candy. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let's get back insane here because I'm going to tell you why North Korea feels like another world. Yeah, I haven't had a North Korean sighting in a while, but we got to get one in for Ed McAndrew's first debut. I'll tell you why. It's a country seen from space, people. At night, satellite images show North Korea mostly dark, while South Korea glows beside it. Going over them all. The border splits two realities. The DMZ divides Korea sharply, making one peninsula feel like two realities. Side by side, as they say in racing. Side by side. The border splits two realities, people. Even time was different. North Korea used Juche, whatever that means, years starting from 1912, the birth of the year of Kim Il-sung, people. Okay, Kim Il-sung, I know my watch is telling me, loud environment. Yeah, when you listen to me, what the heck would you expect anyways? News come from the state, independent media is banned, so most citizens receive information through state-controlled channels only daily. The outside internet is limited. Most citizens cannot freely use the global internet, creating a closed information bubble inside. The haircut rules. Oh my God, this was a classic here. Sound unreal. Reports describe state grooming expectations showing the even appearance can become part of the political control. I don't even know what that means, but go figure. Money works differently. Alongside state systems, markets help many people survive by goods exchange money quietly daily. Propaganda fills public space. Murals, slogans, posters, and monuments constantly reinforce loyalty, history, enemies, national identity, daily everywhere. There you go, people. What are your thoughts? Well, come on, Steve. You and I have been to North Korea plenty of times. What are your thoughts about this one?
Yeah, none of it is surprising because, they would rather starve their people. They still have people starving to death every year because they want to build more nuclear missiles, right? Why feed your people? Because we need more missiles that we'll never use. But that's what happens when you have crackpots as your national leader. I mean,
right.
That's why they're in the dark. They have these vast cities right over the DMZ that, at night they're dark. No one lives in them, but they want to portray that, it's the workers' paradise, right? And, that's why, so many of the people from the north try to come south. I mean, the country is really a mess, and it's not getting any better. Now they're trying to send stuff into space, but they still can't feed their own people. It is what it is.
All right, Eddie, first shot in
Yes.
North Korea. Don't worry, you'll get plenty more.
No, North Korea. It's that whole situation is very, very tense too. That DMZ zone is not a big spot, and things can happen. But to Steve's point, it's sad. A space. Why put he's kind of got a Napoleon complex. He's not a big. They're not a big country. He's not a big guy, but he wants to act big. But he's not. He can't come out and play with the big kids like the USA, USSR, Soviet Union. Russia and so on, and he wants to, and he's trying to do that, and he wants to put all his money towards that, and it's really sad to see what goes on there. So maybe one day when the family dies out and there's a change, or the military stands up and overthrows the family, but until then, probably won't happen in our lifetime. Let's say that.
It's
Andy?
ruled by a strict totalitarian dictatorship. The state monitors all private communication, limits international travel, forbids leaving the country without explicit permission. There's no free speech. Public criticism of the leadership is treated as a major political crime, leading to imprisonment in labor camps or execution. They have severe penalties for lots of things. They have no internet. Any foreign tourist must travel only on prearranged official tours and remain accompanied by government guides at all times. Would not want to live there or visit there. Period.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I don't think you would get in there anyways. If you do get out of there, you won't get out. Dennis Rodman went in there. I'm surprised he got out of there to begin with. But then again, he had a good relationship with the leader, but there aren't many people that do. All right, we have one more final topic of the night. I have a good one that we'll carry over to next week. We'll give it more time. Crazy coincidence. Team USA played its round of 32 match against, you guessed it, Bosnia-Herzegovina on July 1st on Canada Day, while Team Canada played a round of 16 game on July 4th on Independence Day. Steve, what are your thoughts about that? Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, Bosnia Herzegovina, it's smaller than some of our states, but the fact that they made it to the round of 16, I mean, that's kudos to them and their soccer team, or as they call it, football. But yeah, and then we played on Canada Day, and the Canadians played on the 4th of July. So crazier stuff can happen.
And just so you know, Gordie Howe Bridge actually opened up from Detroit to Windsor.
And we weren't invited.
Yeah, we weren't invited. They paid the whole bill. We have a president that doesn't quite like the people north of the border. So
that's I mean, that's kind of interesting, cool that we played on Canada Day and they played on the 4th of July. That's cool, I guess. And coincidence or planned? I don't know, but it's kind of cool, kind of a interesting talking point to say, hey,
All right, Candy.
I think it's cool because I think the World Cup, when you see all these little countries or in all these different countries that you might not normally see playing in a tournament like this, I think it always unifies to a certain extent the country. I mean, let's face it, soccer is not the most popular sport in the United States, but I think a lot of people become soccer fans during the World Cup. So I thought that was cool to see.
Yeah, it really was pretty surreal. I just hope that Donald Trump doesn't turn a lifelong friend and make this worse than it is. I think I can deal with some of his stuff, but not Canada, considering I'm a guy from Detroit that lived across the border from them. So I'll leave that for another night. But meanwhile, Eddie, what are your thoughts of your first deck? We'll have one more topic next week. And next week, just to let you know, the topic that will carry over will be 10 of the most beautiful towns in the United States. We'll talk that and a whole lot more next week. So, all right, with that said, Steve, let everybody know how you get a hold of. Yeah, and I'll call you probably on Friday or so we can figure out a place to meet on Sunday. But let everybody know they get on you, Steve.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at SteveB7SFG. I write for PatsFans.com. Do a podcast there called Patriots No Huddle. We have a show coming up, I think tomorrow or Friday. But then I'm also a senior defense editor for National Security Journal. And as you can imagine, things have been really busy on that end.
I can imagine. And by the way, Steve, early happy birthday. If you have it on Saturday, happy birthday. And
Happy
we'll
birthday
definitely
to me on Saturday. Another trip around the sun.
Yeah, there you go. We'll obviously spend some time with you in Naples over the week on Sunday. Steve, Andy, Ed, let everybody know they get a hold of you, buddy. And he's going to be
Well,
with me on Sports Wrap. Go ahead.
yeah, you can see you tomorrow on Sports Wrap. On Tuesdays, we've got Inside the Pigskin. If Scott will have me back, I'll be here on Wednesdays at 7:30. Same bad time, same bad channel. And you can get me on all the different social medias, Ed McAndrew, et cetera, and who knows, Scott may get me on another show somehow. He says I have to follow him here and there, so just keep your eyes open.
Well, just so you know, you are coming back on Wednesday night. You fit. What do you think, Steve? Do you think there's an opportunity
Absolutely.
to do this every week?
We got to
Thank
keep
you,
the
sir.
band together.
You are keeping the band. Hey, Ed McAndrew, you made it in here, and you ain't going nowhere.
Thank you.
He's
All
part of
right,
this
well,
group.
that's good. Well, that's good. I got to the flagship show.
Okay.
That's what now I just got to help make the flagship show the best thing it can be.
All right, Candy, take us the rest of the way. We have Sports Exchange coming up in about 8 minutes. Go ahead, Candy.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, talk about his 40-plus years in the business. Old school media versus new school media. Get your copy today. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. The audiobook is also out there. You can also get the link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there's a plethora of great content. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. If you see the red subscribe button, that means you have not yet subscribed to the South Florida Tribune. Please do so. Turn on your notifications as well. Last but not least, we developed a travel YouTube channel called Destination Discoveries Media Network. QR code in the upper right now is for Destination Discoveries Media Network. We would ask you to subscribe to that channel as well. You want to hear all things travel, go to that channel. Monday nights we have a travel show called No Limits. And then we also do this show, which is all over the place. So we also put this on that channel as well. So if you want to see some of our travel videos, go to it. Subscribe and wait for more great travel videos, especially if we go to Naples this weekend. You never know, there might be a travel video in the works.
Well, that does it for this edition of Motor City Man Mouse Show. I'm loud, and don't worry, it'll get louder in about 5-10 minutes. On behalf of Steve Ballesteri, Ed McAndrew, Candy Ebling, my name is Scott Morgan, around the Motor City Man Mouse. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And meanwhile, Sports Exchange next. Great job, Eddie. I'm glad you're part of the crew here on Wednesday at 7:30. By the way, at 7:30 every Wednesday. Steve, myself, and Candy, and whoever else I bring along for the ride. Okay, well that does it. We'll see you in just a few minutes on the Sports Exchange. Take care, Steve. I will see you Sunday. We'll be talking to you on Friday, my friend and brother.
All right. See you on Sunday.
All right, you bet. Eddie, great job. See you tomorrow night. What's that,
All right,
Candy?
see you guys.
I said happy early birthday to Steve.
All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks.
Good night.